On December 25, 1965, one diary permanently changed how we view the most isolated continent in the world, Antarctica. It was written by a distinguished U.S. Navy officer and brilliant navigator, Admiral Richard Byrd. Before it was made public, top U.S. officials had commanded him to remain silent about what he discovered on the vast, icy expanse of the continent.
I have just attended a staff meeting at the Pentagon. I have stated fully my discovery and the message from the Master. All is duly recorded. The President has been advised. I am now detained for several hours, 6 hours, 39 minutes to be exact. I am interviewed intently by top security forces and a medical team. It was an ordeal. I am placed under strict control via the national security provisions of the United States of America. I am ordered to remain silent in regard to all that I have learned on the behalf of humanity. Incredible. I am reminded that I am a military man and I must obey orders.
But why? Is the information he possessed of immense importance that it necessitated a gag order from the highest ranks of the U.S. military? We frequently assess the credibility of information based on our perceptions of the person sharing it. In Admiral Byrd's case, his reputation speaks for itself, making it hard to dismiss him as merely seeking attention. Even without the diary, his accomplishments were already remarkable. He was a highly accomplished and respected figure, making it hard to dismiss his writings as mere fantasies of a delusional mind. In 1926, he achieved the remarkable feat of being the first person to fly over the North Pole, though some skeptics later questioned this. Just a year later, he solidified his place in aviation history by completing one of the earliest transatlantic flights, just weeks after Charles Lindbergh's iconic journey. His adventurous spirit reached new heights in 1929, when he became the first pilot to fly to and from the South Pole. Byrd was undeniably adventurous and daring, eager to make his mark on history. This was characteristic of the era. Many of the machines we now take for granted, like airplanes and automobiles, were still new inventions at the time, and people were constantly striving to set new records. In the 1920s, there were still vast, unexplored regions of the world. It was trailblazers like Admiral Byrd who paved the way for today's scientists and adventurers. Byrd's insatiable curiosity led him back to Antarctica, time and again. Yet, one of Byrd's Antarctic expeditions, Operation High Jump, stirred significant intrigue and speculation, especially with the government's involvement. Conducted from 1946 to 1947, Operation High Jump was officially intended to establish research stations and assert American dominance in the seemingly desolate expanse of Antarctica. However, the mission's true purpose raised many eyebrows. During World War II, the U.S. military discovered that its ships and aircraft were ill-prepared for cold weather operations. Ships in the Arctic Sea often froze, and planes flying from Greenland and Iceland frequently crashed due to severe weather. To tackle these challenges, the U.S. started modifying its military equipment for Arctic conditions and testing the feasibility of long-distance operations in such harsh environments. This is where Operation High Jump came into play. The plan called for deploying a naval task force to Antarctica to test equipment in the extreme cold and map vast portions of the continent. There was no one more capable of leading this mission than the fearless and experienced Admiral Byrd himself. But the mission that was initially planned for 6 months was cut short to just 6 weeks. Official records cite severe weather as the official cause. Despite this, the results were valuable for the U.S. military. The operation led to the winterization of ships and planes, preparing them for deployment in cold weather, especially in the event of a conflict with the Soviets. Additionally, nuclear-capable B-29 bombers were equipped for winter operations, enabling them to fly from Alaska if necessary. However, public curiosity and skepticism about the mission persisted. The public raised valid questions. If it was merely a drill, why deploy such a massive force equipped with the Navy's best weapons and artillery? Specifically, the operation involved 14 ships, 33 aircraft, around 4,700 heavily armed men, 2 destroyers, tankers, heavily armed seaplanes, and an attack submarine. The sheer scale of the military presence led some to speculate that the true purpose of the expedition was to confront Nazis allegedly hiding in Antarctica. As previously mentioned, officials cited severe weather as the main reason for cutting the mission short. This raises intriguing questions. If the mission was designed to endure harsh conditions, why retreat when the weather was actually ideal? Did something extraordinary occur in Antarctica that forced the massive Navy contingent to retreat? This naturally sparked numerous speculations. Some witnesses claimed that the Navy encountered disc-shaped crafts, leading to an extraordinary confrontation that forced them to retreat from the icy waters. For years, the truth remained a mystery until one crucial piece of evidence came to light: Admiral Byrd's diary. During one of his routine flights, Byrd was broadcasting live to the American public through a Navy relay. Then, suddenly, his broadcast went silent for nearly 3 hours. No one, not even the Navy, could hear him, and his location became a complete mystery. When Byrd's diary was at last uncovered, it revealed the astonishing events that transpired during those mysterious 3 missing hours. But before it was made public, the diary was seized and classified. Should its contents be verified as true, they could revolutionize our understanding of the world. His entries from February 19, 1947, initially seemed routine. He mentioned waking up early and getting ready for the usual flight. However, things took a turn when Byrd noticed a minor oil leak in the engine during the flight, which coincided with some turbulence. As he grappled with the controls to avert a potential crash, the aircraft unexpectedly entered what appeared to be a cave. Emerging from it, the pilot and his team discovered a mountain range they had not previously observed during their prior expeditions. Even more astonishing was the sight of green valleys and forests, contrary to their expectations of encountering only snow and ice.
We are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best as can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth.
He also noted the absence of the sun, although an unusual light bathed their surroundings.
The light here seems different. I cannot see the sun anymore. We make another left turn, and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No, it looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible, yet there it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet, and take binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definitely a mammoth-like animal. Report this to base camp.
Later, the diary entries described how the radio and navigational instruments suddenly malfunctioned. The plane appeared to be circling on its own, out of Byrd's control.
Ahead, we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. The aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond. My God, off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc-shaped and have a radiant quality to them. They are close enough now to see the markings on them. It is a type of swastika. This is fantastic.
Eventually landing, the team found themselves in the presence of peculiar plants and unfamiliar animals, some resembling mammoths. Richard described encountering strange flying machines, from which human-like beings emerged.
Several men are approaching on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a large, shimmering city, pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching. I hear now a voice ordering me by name to open the cargo door. I comply.
These beings stood tall, possessed bare skin with a subtle blue-green hue, akin to the local water bodies. Notably, they had white hair and donned distinctive attire. Remarkably, Richard understood their language when they spoke. When he inquired about his location, the mysterious being revealed that he was now underground, in the inner-world civilization known as Agartha. The Admiral was extended an invitation by a representative of the local authorities, whom he referred to as the Master in his diary.
I see a man with delicate features and with the etching of years upon his face. He is seated at a long table. He motions me to sit down in one of the chairs. After I am seated, he places his fingertips together and smiles. He speaks softly again and conveys the following. We have let you enter here because you are of noble character and well known on the surface world, Admiral. surface world, I gasp under my breath.
He ventured into the depths of the underground civilization, where he witnessed astonishing sights. The inhabitants traveled on levitating platforms and lived in houses crafted from crystals. The entire city glowed and sparkled with a mesmerizing array of rainbow colors, creating a breathtaking spectacle. He repeatedly expressed his inability to find adequate words to describe what he had witnessed. However, one thing was unquestionably clear to him. He had encountered a civilization that far surpassed our own in the fields of science, culture, and technology. The master revealed to Byrd that they had long avoided contact with humans and stayed out of their conflicts. However, the catastrophic atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki changed everything. These events compelled them to reach out to humanity, beginning their attempts to communicate after 1945. Despite their efforts, they were met with hostility. Now it fell upon the pilot to convey these warnings to the representatives of his terrestrial civilization. According to the subterranean creatures, humanity was perilously close to reaching a point of no return. Upon returning to the surface, Byrd immediately documented everything he had witnessed and heard in his diary. He later shared this astonishing account during a Pentagon meeting. However, he and his crew were strictly forbidden from revealing this information to anyone. As a disciplined military officer, Byrd adhered to this order. From that moment on, he was tormented by the weight of a secret he was unable to share with the world. It seems destiny had a hand in revealing Byrd's secrets, as his diary eventually became accessible to the public. Many of us might dismiss his account as purely fantastical and irrational. After all, Byrd was a controversial figure. Some people claim he fabricated tales of a hidden civilization to attract investors, and even faked his expeditions to the North Pole. Why else, they argue, didn't he take a single photograph? Private donations and corporate sponsorships were vital in funding Byrd's Antarctic expeditions. He also secured financial and promotional support through media and publishing deals with major entities like Columbia Broadcasting, Paramount Pictures, and the New York Times. Scholars suggest that these media contracts and radio broadcast arrangements may have significantly influenced the way the expeditions were conducted. There were also claims that the pilot had been exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning, which might have caused him to show signs of mild derangement. This could explain the bizarre accounts he wrote in his diary. Byrd's account portrayed Inner Earth as a remarkable place, inhabited by enlightened beings with much to teach us. If such a place truly exists, why would government officials want to keep it a secret? Is there more to this story than we know? Perhaps Byrd made up this story to gain fame, but considering his real-life accomplishments, that seems unlikely. Alternatively, maybe the diary was entirely fabricated by someone else for their own reasons. This would clear Byrd's name, but leaves us wondering who the real author of the diary might be. But who knows? Maybe it's true. Perhaps Byrd made a journey to the inner earth, experienced extraordinary things, and returned with a warning that the government chose to cover up. Only future discoveries can reveal which of these possibilities is the truth. Underneath the busy streets of Los Angeles lies a forgotten maze of tunnels. Once bustling with subway trains and the footsteps of people and horses, these passageways are now sealed and abandoned. According to Hopi legends, there is an even older network of tunnels buried much deeper. The Hopi are a Native American tribe living mainly in northeastern Arizona, known for their rich cultural heritage, traditional ceremonies, and unique way of life. They have a vibrant oral tradition, passing down myths, legends, and wisdom through the generations. One of the enduring myths they have passed down through generations speaks of ancient catacombs, said to be over 5,000 years old, hidden deep within the earth. These mysterious tunnels located in Los Angeles, believed to have been created by a lost civilization, and are rumored to contain incredible treasures and golden tablets that reveal the origins of humanity. We all know Los Angeles as the entertainment capital of the world, with Hollywood producing some of the most beloved mystery movies. Isn't it fascinating that the city is also at the center of a real-life mystery that could rival any Indiana Jones adventure? For centuries, Hopi legends have spoken of a hidden city beneath Los Angeles. This underground labyrinth is believed to have been created by an ancient civilization known as the Lizard People. According to these accounts, these mysterious beings flourished along the Pacific coast. The name Lizard People doesn't actually mean this ancient race was actually reptilian. Rather, they held lizards in high regard, seeing them as symbols of longevity and vital to their culture. But there's an opposing theory suggesting that these beings were indeed reptilian in nature and possessed the ability to shapeshift at will. According to this view, the race had serpent or lizard heads with human bodies. Whether they were human or reptilian, one thing is certain. This lost civilization was extraordinarily advanced. They possessed remarkable inventions, sophisticated machines, and immense wealth in gold and other precious metals. However, their reign abruptly ended around 5,000 years ago when a massive meteor shower struck the Earth, nearly wiping out their race. The survivors sought refuge deep within the planet, building underground cities. Using a special chemical compound that could melt bedrock, they carved their new homes into the earth, a remarkable feat of engineering. These ancient builders used unknown advanced chemicals to carve through rock, creating vast domed caverns large enough to house thousands of families. Their underground city was connected by a network of tunnels leading to the ocean, where the tides helped circulate fresh air throughout the labyrinth. These underground cities were equipped with supplies designed to last for centuries, much like today's high-end vaults. There were said to be 3 such cities, each shaped like a lizard. One beneath Los Angeles, another under Mount Shasta, and a third in an undisclosed location. The city beneath Los Angeles was believed to be the largest and the capital of these subterranean realms. This underground city was described as being designed in the form of a sacred lizard, stretching from its head beneath northeast Los Angeles to its tail beneath the downtown Central Library. Among its many chambers, one stood out: the key room. This particularly large room was believed to house the most important knowledge of the lizard people, inscribed on 37 gold tablets. These tablets supposedly contained secrets about the true origins of the human race, knowledge that, if revealed, could fundamentally alter our long-held beliefs. These legends have piqued the curiosity of many, leading some to search for these mythical tunnels. In the 1930s, a geophysicist astonished the world with his claim of discovering an underground city through detailed X-rays. His scans unveiled hidden treasures and a detailed map of the labyrinth. The evidence was so convincing that it garnered city funding for a drilling expedition, captivating national attention. It was in 1933 that a groundbreaking invention emerged, having the potential to locate the true location of the legendary underground city. The visionary behind this groundbreaking invention was George Warren Shufelt, a mining engineer from Los Angeles. With a dramatic flourish, Shufelt proclaimed that he had developed a revolutionary device capable of surveying underground resources like oil, gold, and hidden caverns. He dubbed his innovative creation the radio X-ray machine, a marvel unlike anything the world had ever seen. This device, encased in a black box, contained a pendulum suspended within a cylindrical glass chamber. The pendulum, connected to a copper wire held by Shufelt, swung continuously, operating much like an advanced dowsing rod. Shufelt asserted that his radio X-ray machine could utilize radio X-rays to analyze the chemical, electrical, and physical properties of matter at significant depths and from miles away. Although he never fully divulged the mechanics of his invention, he confidently assured everyone that it was founded on a newly discovered scientific principle, a claim that his audience readily accepted. Eager to prove the potential of his invention, Shufelt began demonstrating it to local investors and scientists. While conducting surveys beneath downtown Los Angeles, he claimed to have uncovered an extraordinary network of underground tunnels stretching from Mount Washington to Santa Monica Bay. These intricately designed tunnels boasted numerous rooms and expansive chambers. Shufelt estimated that the labyrinth could comfortably house up to 9,000 people and detected significant quantities of gold hidden within its passageways. Fascinated by his findings, Shufelt meticulously drew a secret map of this newly discovered underground world and set out to explore its purpose and origins. The initial excavations were done in February 1934 in a vacant lot on North Hill Street, directly above what he believed to be a treasure room filled with gold. The city agreed to give him half of any treasure he found, only boosting his excitement. The media quickly picked up on this captivating story, igniting a national frenzy. If it happened today, we'd say he went viral. In fact, the esteemed Los Angeles Times ran a captivating headline: "Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted." Amidst the grip of the Great Depression, the nation eagerly followed the progress of the dig, finding in it a much-needed escape from reality. It became their version of today's soap operas. However, at a depth of 300 feet, Shufelt and his team encountered an abundance of mud and water, making the shafts unstable and threatening to collapse the tunnel. The project was halted in the spring due to concerns about cave-ins and a lack of funding and media attention. Shortly after his work came to a halt, Shufelt disappeared from public view. Ironically, despite his once sensational claims, he slipped into obscurity. He died in 1957, poor and unnoticed, and was quietly buried in North Hollywood. What became of the revolutionary X-ray machine and the images Shufelt drew of the underground labyrinth? The irony lies in the fact that Schufelt's machine actually worked. It detected tunnels formed by natural gas, revealing a surprising network beneath Los Angeles. These tunnels included vast chambers that resembled rooms, at least according to his device's readings. On another note, his detailed maps faded into obscurity, becoming little more than forgotten footnotes in history. Did the lizard people truly exist, living beneath what is now modern Los Angeles? Or are they merely the stuff of legend and folklore? One compelling piece of corroborative evidence came from Miss Edith Eldon Robinson of Pico Rivera. On September 26, 1934, she sent a letter to the Journal of the American Society for Psychical Research, claiming to have had a vision of an ancient submerged civilization beneath Los Angeles. Her vision depicted a culture of extraordinary excellence, with art and architecture surpassing anything known today. She described tunnels extending to the seashore, mirroring Schufelt's claims. Notably, Robinson's moment of clairvoyance occurred in the presence of friends who swore she had it before the local newspaper announced anything about the lizard people. While we still haven't seen physical evidence of the underground city, the belief in inner Earth civilizations has captivated people for centuries. Historical accounts from various ancient societies provide fascinating hints that keep this curiosity alive. For example, the Babylonian king Gilgamesh journeyed into the Earth's depths to seek out his ancestor Utnapishtim. In Greek mythology, Orpheus descended to the underworld in a bid to rescue Eurydice. Meanwhile, the ancient Egyptians believed that pharaohs communicated with the underworld through secret tunnels hidden within the pyramids. One of the most famous tales of subterranean civilizations is the legend of Agartha. This mythical inner Earth kingdom is said to be connected to every continent by a vast network of tunnels. The legend of Agartha dates back to ancient India, predating Hinduism, and tells of an island located in an inland sea north of the Himalayas. According to the story, this island was inhabited by an extraordinary race of superhuman beings who possessed knowledge and wisdom far beyond that of the outside world. Faced with an unspecified disaster, possibly related to the continental drift that shaped the Earth's surface, these beings moved their island nation underground and founded Agartha. In Tibetan Buddhism, there is a secretive and mystical city known as Shambhala, believed to be hidden deep within the Himalayas. Some speculate that Shambhala could be connected to Agartha, with Tibetans referring to Shambhala as the capital of Agartha itself. Within India, a long-standing belief endures among some that the depths of the earth are inhabited by an advanced serpent-like civilization known as the Nagas. These beings are said to reside in the cities of Patala and Bhogavati. The Nagas represent an immensely advanced species equipped with highly sophisticated technology. Vedic texts provide extensive descriptions of Vimanas, flying machines that navigated the skies. Additionally, Nagas are depicted possessing mystical stones and a third eye located in the center of their foreheads. They harbor a contempt for human beings. Could it be that Native Americans are actually of Indian descent? If not, then why does the American government appear so determined to keep the discovery of an underground city in the Grand Canyon hidden from the world? In 1909, explorer G.E. Kincaid set off on a daring journey down the Colorado River and into the depths of the Grand Canyon. Little did he know, he would stumble upon one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in history. Hidden deep within the canyon, he found an ancient civilization tucked away in a cave, its walls adorned with hieroglyphs reminiscent of Egypt and statues strikingly similar to those found in India. However, instead of encouraging further exploration, the U.S. government quickly moved to seal off the area, forbidding any access and even issuing shoot-to-kill orders for anyone brave enough to trespass. This begs the question, what secrets are hidden within the Grand Canyon's mysterious caves? Let's journey back in time when this civilization in the Grand Canyon was first discovered. Explorer G.E. Kincaid embarked on a daring adventure down the Colorado River and through the Grand Canyon. Kincaid was driven by a burning desire to uncover the area's rich mineral resources: gold, silver, and copper. Yet, it wasn't just the lure of treasure that fueled his journey. Locals spoke of an ancient underground city hidden within the canyon's depths. There were rumors swirling around that the Roosevelt government was preparing to lock down the area, imposing tight surveillance. Sensing this could be his last chance, Kincaid embarked on a daring expedition, knowing it was an opportunity he might never have again. As Kincaid journeyed through the canyon, roughly 40 miles upstream from El Tovar Crystal Canyon, something peculiar caught his attention. Curious stains in the sediment layers, towering nearly 2,000 feet above him. His curiosity piqued, Kincaid anchored his boat and decided to investigate. Though no clear path lay before him, he forged ahead, navigating the rugged landscape until he stumbled upon a remarkable discovery hidden beneath the desert brush: a series of sandstone steps, meticulously carved into the canyon's side, leading up to a high, mysterious shelf. The steps carved into the rock lead deep into the cave, giving a clear sign that what he stumbled upon was no ordinary cavern. As he ventured inside, the walls revealed carvings and symbols, evidence of a civilization that once thrived within these hidden chambers. The deeper Kincaid ventured, the more extraordinary his findings became. The passageway widened and branched into multiple directions, each leading to new discoveries. Some of the walls were etched with markings that appeared to be an ancient language, one Kincaid had never encountered before, yet it struck him with an eerie sense of familiarity. As Kincaid explored further, he stumbled upon symbols that bore a striking resemblance to Egyptian hieroglyphs, the very same found near the pyramids. The realization left him both amazed and bewildered. How could Egyptian symbols be found in a cave in Arizona? But this was only the beginning. When Kincaid realized that the tunnel was deeper than he initially expected, he cautiously advanced further into the dimness of the surroundings, methodically recording detailed observations of everything he encountered. The primary passageway, approximately 12 feet wide, gradually narrowed to 9 feet as he ventured deeper. Around 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages appeared, branching off to the right and left. Along these passages, numerous rooms of varying sizes, akin to contemporary living rooms, were discovered, some measuring as large as 30 by 40 feet square. Access to these rooms was granted through oval-shaped doors, and round air spaces within the walls facilitated ventilation. The passages were skillfully chiseled or hewn in straight lines, indicative of a deliberate engineering layout. It was then that he realized that he had stumbled upon an immense complex. He estimated that this underground city could have accommodated as many as 50,000 inhabitants. Exploring further, he encountered granaries stocked with shelves of glazed pottery, some of which still contained seeds, cooking areas, and a vast dining hall. Ancient artifacts filled the rooms. Kincaid meticulously wrapped a few small metal and ceramic objects to examine later. In one particularly spacious chamber, he identified it as a metalworking area, a technological feat seemingly incongruous with the region. Here, he found tools of all descriptions made of copper. These people undoubtedly knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemists for centuries without results. Kincaid soon realized that fully exploring the vast expanse of this underground city was a task far beyond his abilities alone. Understanding the enormity of his discovery, he carefully selected a few artifacts and compiled detailed notes, which he sent to the Smithsonian, urgently requesting financial and logistical support. Recognizing the potential significance of what could be one of the most profound archaeological finds in history, the Smithsonian responded a few weeks later. They dispatched Professor S.A. Jordan, accompanied by a team of about 40 scientists, researchers, and laborers. With the added illumination and manpower, the scientists quickly discerned that the cave system's layout was far from random. It was meticulously designed with a striking symmetry. All the tunnels converged toward a central chamber, where, deep within, stood a grand statue. Positioned over 100 feet from the entrance, this statue dominated the cross hall, which stretched several hundred feet in length. In this chamber, they discovered the idol or image of the people's god, seated cross-legged, holding a lotus flower or lily in each hand. The face bore an oriental cast, and the carving closely resembled that of a Buddha figure, though the scientists couldn't definitively determine the exact religious significance. Given the artifacts and symbols uncovered so far, it seemed likely that the worship practiced here might have been similar to that of the ancient people of Tibet. Kincaid's team soon christened the complex the Citadel. Among the many chambers they unearthed, one of the most significant was the crypt. The walls, slanting at an angle of about 35 degrees, were lined with shelves, each holding a mummy. At the head of each mummy, there was a small bench, along with copper cups and fragments of broken swords. Some of the mummies were encased in clay and wrapped in bark fabric. Interestingly, every mummy examined so far was male, suggesting that this particular area might have served as a barracks for warriors. Kincaid, Jordan, and the Smithsonian team were astonished by the sheer abundance of evidence pointing to something far greater than a solitary temple for a handful of priests. What they had uncovered was a sprawling city that had once been home to thousands of men, women, and children, thriving for centuries, perhaps even millennia. This then led them to another puzzle. Who were the ancient people who constructed and thrived in this extraordinary underground civilization? Among the researchers, two key points emerged as consensus. First, the civilization that built the Citadel displayed an extraordinary level of advancement, far surpassing the native tribes that had lived in the region for thousands of years. They had mastered the art of working with bronze, even before the recognized Bronze Age, and demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of specialized labor divisions and agricultural practices at a time when most other societies were believed to be hunter-gatherers. These discoveries posed significant challenges to the established theories of archaeology and anthropology. The second major conclusion the researchers reached was that this mysterious civilization was not native to the Grand Canyon. The presence of the statue and hieroglyphs in the cave suggested a civilization deeply connected to ancient Egyptian or Asian cultures, particularly India, given that Buddhism, which played a significant role in this region, emerged during a period of profound social change and intense religious activity in northeastern India, sometime between the late 6th and early 4th centuries BC. Driven to substantiate their theories, Kincaid and Professor Jordan sent crates packed with artifacts, accompanied by meticulous notes and illustrations, to the Smithsonian Institution. In his communication, Kincaid stressed the critical need for more resources and an expanded team to push forward with the exploration of the Citadel. He knew that their work was just beginning and that the ancient complex still held many secrets waiting to be uncovered. However, the response they received was far from what they had anticipated. Unfortunately, their request for additional support and resources was denied. After this rejection, all contact with G.E. Kincaid and Professor Jordan abruptly ceased, and their whereabouts remain a mystery. Did they truly vanish because they never existed, or had they uncovered something too dangerous to reveal? However, despite the authorities' best efforts to keep the discovery under wraps, news still leaked out. In a front-page article of Arizona Gazette on April 5, 1909, it was reported that archaeologists G.E. Kincaid and Professor Jordan from the Smithsonian Institution found remains of an advanced civilization in the Grand Canyon. The news spread like wildfire, capturing the public's imagination. When the American government caught wind of the situation, they swiftly ordered the Smithsonian to halt all research, closed off the area, and sealed several caves. The airspace above the region, now known as Kincaid's Cave, is restricted, making it illegal and dangerous to navigate the area. Despite these measures, people continue to venture into this section of the canyon. Numerous individuals have been arrested, and some have lost their lives while attempting to scale these sacred locations. Throughout the years, the situation has escalated to the extent that the government finds it necessary to station armed FBI agents inside the entrance of the cave. Years later, when questions were raised about Kincaid's expedition, the Smithsonian Museum denied any knowledge of G.E. Kincaid or Professor S.A. Jordan, firmly stating that no such research had ever occurred in the Grand Canyon. This official position starkly contradicted the reports published in local newspapers at the time. The museum ultimately dismissed the Arizona Gazette's article as a complete fabrication. To this day, many believe that the government is hiding something within the Grand Canyon. Officially, the government maintains that the ruins are part of the local Native American civilization, and that the cave is sealed off for public safety due to its dangerous conditions. Do you believe that an Indian or Egyptian civilization thrived in the Grand Canyon? Let us know your thoughts about this. Hope you like our story. Catch you in the next one.